everyone, and welcome back to my podcast, Everything Sports. I'm Ben, and this is the third episode of my podcast. So, let's talk a little bit about what we are going to be discussing today. Before we continue, let's take a quick break to thank our sponsor. If you haven't heard about Anchor yet, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. There are many reasons that Anchor is the best place to record your own podcast. First of all, it's free. You don't have to pay anything for the app. The second thing, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It is literally so simple, and I am doing it right now. Thirdly, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Another great thing is you can make money from your podcast, obviously, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Today we are going to be discussing three things. To start us off, we are going to be talking about the NFL Week 16 in review. We'll be doing an overview of the more important games that happened during Week 16, the results of those, and how those may impact the NFL playoff bracket. The second thing we are going to be talking about is the college basketball AP Top 25 poll. These are the new national rankings for college basketball, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And finally, we are going to be discussing Christmasketball, which is tomorrow on Christmas, obviously. We're going to be having some excellent showdowns of NBA basketball, and we are going to talk a little bit about that. So that's what we are going to be discussing today. So let's get right into talking about the NFL. So let's begin by talking about the Patriots versus Bills game that happened on Saturday. The Patriots won the game 24-17, and with this win, they clinched the AFC East title, and the Bills will have to hope that they get a wild card spot. So the Patriots are now 12-3, and the Bills 10-5. During the game, Tom Brady passed for 271 yards and a touchdown. He even ran the ball on a 3rd and short and made a block downfield to set up a scoring drive. Rex Burkhead for the Patriots had 5 carries and a touchdown, and receiver Matt Lacoste had an 8-yard touchdown reception. Meanwhile, for the Bills, Josh Allen passed for 208 yards and was 13 for 26 on passing attempts. He also ran for 43 yards. And towards the end of the game came down to a Bills 4th down on the Patriots' 15-yard line. However, Josh Allen had to throw up a lob and pray that his guy would come down with it. It was incomplete, and the Patriots won 24-17. So that's your overview on the Patriots game, and now let's talk a little bit about the Packers versus Vikings game. During the Monday Night Football game last night, the Packers clinched the NFC North with the dub over the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Rodgers passed for 216 yards, but no touchdown. Aaron Jones for the Packers had 2 rushing touchdowns, and the Packers won the game 23-10 despite fumbling 4 times. The Packers were able to hold off the Vikings and get the win. Moving on, the Seattle Seahawks lost a tough one to the Cardinals, and they also lost the chances of getting a bye in the NFC playoffs. To add on to the loss, they also lost running back Chris Carson for the season. He suffered a hip injury during the game. For Arizona, Kenyon Drake rushed for a pair of touchdowns, and Larry Fitzgerald had a receiving touchdown to lead the Cards to a 27-13 dominant win over Seattle. Moving right along, the Rams versus the 49ers. The Rams were eliminated from playoff contention 31 loss to the 49ers. San Francisco moves to 12-3. So that's a little overview of the more important games in the NFL in Week 16. So let's talk a little bit about the college basketball AP Top 25 poll. The updated Top 25 college basketball rankings were updated yesterday, Monday, and I'm going to be talking about the changes in the Top 25 poll and why these changes happened. So the new number one team in the country is Gonzaga. They are 13-1. Their only loss coming to Michigan in the Battle for Atlantis tournament early in the season. And the reason they lost that was because in that game, Michigan could not miss. They shot 52% from three-point range on 23 attempts, which obviously made it very difficult for Gonzaga. Ohio State University moved up to number 2 with a strong performance against Kentucky University. Louisville remains the number 3 seed, and Duke remains the number 4. Neither of them played very noteworthy teams. Kansas University dropped from number 1 to number 5 after a devastating loss to Villanova by 1 point. And they even had a chance to win that game. They had the ball at the end, but they just missed the final shot. The Oregon Ducks moved up to the number 6 slot after beating Michigan and others. Baylor, Auburn, and Memphis all moved up. They are now ranked Baylor 7th, Auburn is 8th, and Memphis is 9th. Auburn remains undefeated at 11 wins and 0 losses. Villanova, who was ranked number 18 before Monday, moved up to 10 with the outstanding 56-55 win versus Kansas. They jumped up those 8 slots with the win over the then number 1 seed Kansas. Number 10 Villanova is followed by Michigan, Butler, and Maryland. The Maryland Terrapins dropped from 7 to 13 with losses to Seton Hall and Penn State on back-to-back occasions. Michigan State moves up to 14 and San Diego State to 15, followed by a struggling UVA team, and FSU follows them. That is to say, Florida State University. And Florida State precedes number 18 and number 19, Dayton and University of Kentucky. Kentucky dropped from number 6 to 19 with the loss to Ohio State. Then, after that, Penn State, Washington, West Virginia, Texas Tech, and Arizona, as well as a new team to the top 25, Iowa. So that's your top 25 college basketball rankings, and that's why the rankings stand this way. Those are the reasons that the rankings were changed. Now let's talk a little bit about Chris Basketball, which will be coming up tomorrow. Chris Basketball will be happening tomorrow, starting with a game at 12 p.m. and finishing with a game that starts at 10:30 p.m. So this will be an exciting day of NBA basketball, and if you have any time in between opening presents, make sure to tune in to some of these games. They will be happening throughout the day, as I said, starting at 12 p.m. and going all the way probably until midnight Eastern time. So to start us off, the Celtics will be playing the Raptors starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time. The Celtics are 20-7, and they will be playing the 21-9 Raptors. That should be a fun game to watch. We'll be seeing Kemba Walker face off against Kyle Lowry. Two very strong teams will be facing off. That should be a close and exciting game. You can catch that one on ESPN, as I said, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Following that game, the Bucks and 76ers will be playing at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That one will be on ABC, so you can catch Giannis facing off against Embiid and Ben Simmons at 2:30 p.m. The Bucks are 27-4, and they will be facing the 22-10 76ers. So if you want to see Embiid face off against Giannis, make sure to turn on that TV at 2:30 Eastern Time. Following that game, the Rockets versus the Warriors will be happening at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The Rockets are 21-9, and they'll be facing off against the Warriors. The Rockets obviously have the duo of James Harden and Russell Westbrook. They are always fun to watch, and they will be facing off against Steph Curry and the Warriors. So if you want to see the dynamic duo of Westbrook and Harden play against Steph Curry, make sure to tune into that game. That one will also be on ABC at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, as I said before. And maybe the most exciting game of all will be happening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC as well. The Clippers will be at the Lakers. The Clippers are 22-10, and the Lakers are 24-6. So if you want to see the Battle of LA, make sure to turn on that TV at 8 p.m. and go to the ABC channel. You'll be able to see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard face off against Anthony Davis and LeBron James. That may give you a sneak peek at what the playoffs will look like. And to round off Chris Basketball, the Pelicans will be facing the Nuggets at 10:30 p.m. The Pelicans, 8-23, will be facing off against the 21-8 Nuggets, and you can catch that one on ESPN. As I said before, it starts at 10:30 Eastern Time. So that's your little preview of Chris Basketball. If you have any time in between eating chocolate, opening presents, or digging through that stocking, make sure to turn on the TV and catch some exciting basketball. Thank you everyone for listening to episode 3 of Everything Sports and Trade Talk. I'm your host Ben, and I really appreciate you listening to my podcast. Now, make sure you have an excellent holiday and be ready for some more sports news coming your way in a couple of days. So, once again, have an excellent holiday. Be ready for some more sports news. Thank you for listening to Everything Sports and Trade Talk.